Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we're going to be looking at the brand new Hypo hero we have and really breaking it down. Now you notice right off the bat that Serenmira is a mage. Now even though she is a mage, she is a buffer. She does play kind of that support aspect in AFK Arena. And there are a few things to note with this hero is should you build her right now, we are seeing her everywhere. Even looking at early utility tier lists, she is being and really put into every single game mode, into a multitude of comps, which we're going to look at in just a minute. Now, two things to really know with this hero. The first one is the signature item. So when we start breaking this down, the first time an allied hero is affected by Luminous Surge or Radiant Zenith, uses their ultimate, the attack rating boost from the effect will be increased by 100%. This is where the hero really shines. When you think of some of the game modes like the Nightmare Corridor or even in the Treasure Scramble, this is huge. If you have this in the first time an allied hero, so once they are affected, remember, we're running a team to 5, so they are all going to get this buff. And as a buffer within here, it works incredibly well, not only reducing or eliminating the burst damage that a hero can take, but also upping the damage with this plus 40 signature item. Now, unfortunately, with that being said, the optimal build or where you want to get her to really see the utility is that plus 40 signature item. So she is going to require a significant investment into the hero if you're building her out. Now, again, there are a few heroes that work very well with the 30, but if you look at the 30 in here, this is going to reduce the damage and they deal 25% more damage to the enemy unit affected by Wither, which is great. You're going to be upping your damage right there. But the plus 40, if you really want to use her and really unlock everything she has, this means, again, when you look at the ultimate ability of a few different heroes, the attack rating boost is 100%, which is insane, guys. So when you have a very high, well-built damage dealer, having the ability like a Marseille, and that's where we've seen her in a couple formations, having a 100% attack boost for the ultimate is kind of crazy when you look at the damage. Now, the second point with this hero is the engraving. Now, you'll notice I did take her to 65. Now, the recommendation is taking her to the 65. That is focusing on the attack node that we have right here. So I did kind of overbuild her, giving her a lot more attack, which, of course, like we've seen in AFK Arena, a majority of heroes, their skills and abilities are based on the attack rating. If you take their attack rating higher, you have in the skills and abilities do work a lot better. Now, of course, in here, again, the minimum is the 60. When you look at this, Luminous Surge is upgraded to Radiant Zenith, extending the duration to 28 seconds and preventing the attack rating boost from decaying for the first 8 seconds. So again, you're extending the attack rating boost that she is providing. Even though she is a mage, like we said earlier, she plays a very, very big support role with her skills and abilities and really having the ability to buff people up. Because looking in here, allied heroes with the highest attack rating for 20 seconds. She illuminates the surge. Heroes affected by the surge have the attack rating boosted by 100% of her initial attack rating. This is the reason why getting to that 65 engraving, giving her some more attack rating is going to make a very big difference. Now, the boost will decay over time until it reaches 0. That is where that plus 60 engraving, the first 8 seconds of battle, again, thinking of a burst team, thinking of a hero, like the Nightmare Corridor that is very short-lived. This is going to be huge because then the duration over the next 28 seconds is the decay that we see. When Luminous Surge ends, the hero will permanently take 30% more damage from subsequent attacks. Again, really amping up the attack in the buffing, in the support aspect that this hero does play. So let's hop over, guys, and I want to show you, and a big shout out to the Floofs, to where this hero is being used and kind of give you a breakdown of what this does kind of look like. So let me hop over and kind of take a look at this. So this is the Serenmira edition, as you can see, guys, from the Floofs. Big shout out to Sibo and Tartaros for putting these together. It is insane, the visuals in here, but you can see, even looking here in the Cursed Friends within itself, the comps. So round 1, you can see she is being placed in a formation with the awakened version of Shamira and Leica, and of course Randy in here to amplify the damage. Now, interesting enough, again, when you think about a hero, when you think about the utility, right here is team number 2. You can see that she is placed in here. Team number 3, here's another formation again that they're kind of running with Vika. Team number 4, team number 5, you can see that she has found a place, and right here is in team number 6 with Envy, with so many different teams within here. It's kind of interesting to see again, utility wise, and seeing where this hero is being used, how she's being used in different formations. It's incredible to see that the utility is so high with this hero. That is the reason, again, initially they are putting her into that SSS tier, that absolute top tier, because when we start kind of breaking down different teams, different formations, she's being used in a crazy amount of places, which is crazy. Now, of course, that goes without saying when it comes to the signature item. Now, when it comes to the collection, now here is the Grotesque Mage, and you'll notice out of here, and this is again a little bit, and I feel like the numbers in here are skewed because of the early testing. So you can see right down here, 38% are not using a collection at all. My thought behind that is looking again just at kind of the data and thinking of the analytics, that players are copying formations and not realizing that a collection is not placed on this hero. It happens to me every single time that I go ahead and do the collection, because for instance, let's say you're a player that is running the new Zafriel collection, which is down here on in the bottom left. But if you do not have this collection built, if you have not run the Ghoulish Gallery, if you do not have this collection, when you copy formations, it is going to leave it blank, like what you see right here, which is huge. Now, you'll note on the right side with the level distribution is a majority of players are running Mihira's collection. Now, the best in slot collection for this hero is Zafriel's collection, but we know, and you can see right here, it's only 29% or 57. That is because players have not had a large enough runway to actually build up the collections itself with this hero. So I feel like this is really going to, again, the data in here is going to kind of change based on players that start running in really week after month, running and getting the additional new collections that we've seen. Because remember, it's only been 2 weeks. I don't even think it's been 2 weeks at this point that we've had the new collections out there. So being able to build them to a viable and really a usable collection is going to take a little bit longer, just for the fact that we've been building everything else. When it comes to Oden's collection, when it comes to Mihira's collection, we have had those built, and we've had them built for an extended amount of time. Very easy to just throw them in. But as of today, the Zafriel collection is the best in slot, which I'm going to be covering later today. Zafriel's collection is the best in slot for a majority of the buffers, a majority of the mages, a majority of the heroes using these collections. It is the best in slot. And you can really see that when we hop over and we look at what they do have in the actual game modes, and looking at the whales, looking at the larger players that literally just build everything out when it is released. You'll notice that when it comes to even the Cursed Realm with the new artifact, let's check out Julius because he's a monster. A lot of players are running the new collections, and we'll see going through here that there are a few. These are kind of the older collections, which Nightmare Corridor is a little bit different than the burst damage that we're seeing. So right there is Rain's collection. This is another one, boom, skill level 2, going to amplify the damage. And then, of course, going through here, you can see we have Inoki's collection, but right here is Zafriel's new collection. Now, we have started to see this on a couple different places. And again, that is why I use some of the larger players, because right there is Zafriel's collection again, based on erosion. Now, very quickly, looking at this collection is by far the best when it comes to Aurelia with the erosion collection. This one almost instantly replaced the original collection, and it seems like it's being driven a lot more. But then when we look at other game modes where it comes into a lot more play, so looking at the leaderboard here in some of the burst comps, we again will see a lot more of the collections that we have. Just building them out. So right there is Zafriel's collection based in Magical Pierce. As we can see right there, it is being used a couple different places. Right here with Marcial, again, Magical Pierce with that collection being used a little bit more. There is Rain's collection being used on Rain, which is very cool to see. And then, of course, there's Rain's collection. So the utility and really the usage of some of the new collections are definitely showing up, especially Thane's collection right there. So there is a lot of utility right there. Again, the erosion collection on Aurelia, which now, again, is the best in slot when it comes to her. So we are seeing and really right out of the gate, a huge collection. Now, of course, when we start thinking of Zafriel's collection, the treasure scramble is where, and honestly, it will shine and shine very, very bright because it does have the aspect of the crowd control. So when we start looking at some of the best players in here, again, this collection is going to be super broken. And I'm not sure we can see the collection. I think we can here. But the collection will be very broken in PvP. Just for the simple fact that with the PvP teams, you get to hit and you get to land the crowd control. So that is one of the triggers when we look at this collection, is that crowd control aspect that we see with the level 2 and building up the collection itself. It really does make a big difference on this one, because when the holder deals damage to an enemy, they become electrified, reducing the damage resistance. This effect cannot stack for every 3 strikes. It does the AoE, so it does a little bit more damage. But the big thing is right down here. When a holder suffers an electrified enemy that is suffering from a control effect, when we start thinking of bosses in AFK Arena, bosses cannot be controlled. This is huge. So the attack power is further increased by 60% of initial attack rating. So think about that again. When we looked at Serenmira and we did put up in her initial attack rating was much higher, this is going to give a boost of that 60% of her initial attack rating, which is going to be huge in here. But again, you can only do this to enemies that are crowd controlled. So thinking again of the Curse Realm, you do have multiple enemies. They can be crowd controlled. The Nightmare Corridor, they cannot. But it also does have a really big burst damage aspect within this collection compared to other mage collections. That is the reason why it does make it the best in slot. And then, of course, when you start looking at PvP where crowd control is effective, you will see a lot more utility with the collection. So definitely have to build out the collection. As much as players hate the Ghoulish Gallery, it is an absolute requirement to be built. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.